All right, welcome to day 3 of the Christmas story. Okay, if you just joining in with us, make sure you're listening to day 1, day 2, so that way day 3 will make a little bit more sense to you. Okay, but over these 12 days of Christmas leading up to the greatest Christmas story that's ever been told, to help align making sure we remember what the true purpose of Christmas is, but also remembering how all areas of our life are connected to our faith. And so, over these 12 days of Christmas, I'm connecting faith and scripture to land stewardship lessons, okay? And today we are on day 3. We are reading from Luke chapter 2, verse 5. And it says, "To be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child." I know, it's short and sweet. It's just introducing Mary to the story now here. To be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child, okay? Again, if you listen to the first 2 days already, you know we're talking very much on the legal aspects of property, of land ownership. Not necessarily the most fun information, but one of the most critical parts of actually being a good steward is making sure everything legally is taken care of, is aligned, is following your government regulations, okay? But today we see that Mary, very, 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 very pregnant Mary, joins Joseph on this journey. Okay? Now, what am I trying to make here? What's the point? My point that I want to emphasize that can often be understated in our land stewardship journey, that is that Mary was involved. She wasn't just a side note. She didn't say, "Hey, Joseph, you go take care of that for me and let me know how it goes." She accompanied her husband in the journey. And likewise, he looked after and accompanied her. In so many aspects, especially when it comes to land management, it is so easy to just, quote unquote, do it ourselves and leave our spouse out of the process. And we come up with so many excuses of why we should do that, okay? It'll just be faster if I just do it this way. If I can take care of it, I promise it'll just be faster. You know, two people aren't really needed to do this journey. Two people don't really need to go to the courthouse and do all of this, okay? And then we can go so forth and so on with excuse after excuse after excuse. But we can see here, Joseph and Mary both made the journey together. And trust me, Mary had plenty of reasons why it would have been easier to just stay home. I mean, I know I was a pretty miserable pregnant woman, but traveling pregnant is just, ugh, it's the absolute worst, okay? And maybe you may be thinking like, well, did she really have a choice? Didn't they both have to prove their identity? Didn't they both have to be there? You can make those excuses on that side all day long. But this is how I look at this. They were partners. And so they acted as partners, both taking the journey together. All right. Now, in, day 1, there was an exact deadline of like, hey, you have to go be registered by, the 10th of December. There was none of those details, at least that we are provided. Okay. And so that being said, there are plenty of excuses that Mary probably could have been like, hey, let's do this after the baby is born. No, we know God's hand is in all of this and guiding, and that Jesus had to be born in Bethlehem to fulfill that prophecy. But what can we take as this lesson today as landowners, as stewards of our land, is that the importance of men and women doing the journey together. You don't have to do everything exactly the same to be partners, to act as partners in your land ownership. And the way I look at that is just simply being informed. Maybe the both of you don't have to go to the courthouse, but maybe the both of you get your name on the title. Maybe the both of you don't have to go sign all the paperwork. But maybe you make sure she knows that the property taxes are this and this is when they're due, and you talk about the aspects of how is this land going to be transferred in the future? How are we going to work through the legal aspects? Is an LLC better or a trust? Doing things together, not just getting it done because it'll be faster if you just take care of it real quick. And again, two people technically don't have to go to the courthouse, but when you work as a partner together, you really can start to see your land ownership, your land management thrive because you guys are a partner. Y'all are in this together, and it's just as important for Mary to show up and participate as it is for Joseph to lead the way. So come back for day 4 while we continue our Christmas story and see some more lessons as we grow closer to Christmas. We can grow closer to our land stewardship.